I can definitely relate. My college experience, I got in as a freshman, and I played defense in high school, and they moved me to receiver when I got there. But they already had other receivers in my freshman class coming in, and guys they had in mind. So I'm just kind of like in the back of the pack, like and playing like some special teams and whatnot. But and never was really a dominant force in college my whole career. I was just like always been a late bloomer, from my body to football to, I didn't really think I'd go to the league. I was big and ran a fast 40. So that's kind of how I snuck in the back of the draft. But yeah, I mean, but I feel like having that success and whatnot be delayed was like, honestly, looking back, like better for me. Like, I mean, I still had my double addiction life, but just looking at the football perspective of it, like, I feel like a lot of people can peak too soon, but there's not a lot of people that continue to get better throughout the process, throughout the journey, like long term. And I feel like that delayed gratification and delayed success and adoration can pay off for you. A lot of people don't want to hear that though.
No, they don't. They want their kids to be rock stars in college. And I had what you're saying. Like I mean, I was a world champion even in my like 38. Like that's insane as a pro athlete. So I really, like I went to my first Olympic trials after I graduated from college, and I wasn't even top 8 in the US. And like, I thought that was it. And my coach was like, I'll see you at practice next week. And we just went to work. And my first year pro, I was like 5th through 8th in every race. My second year pro, I was 3rd through 5th. My third year pro, top 3. And then the year of trying to make my first Olympics out of college, I was not only the fastest American, not only the person that almost broke the Olympic trials record, I was the fastest runner in the world. So for me, not having ever won an individual outdoor NCAA title in my event, to be now in the best in the world and almost the best in history, like my peak wasn't in college for sure.
How did you handle that once you were the best? What was your mindset? Was it was your worthiness, the self-worth dialed in and ready to receive that recognition?
Yeah, I mean, I don't try to put too much emphasis on track or this and that, because obviously my identity comes with my relationship with Christ. Like I'm a strong Christian. That's my identity more than anything. I love track and field, but it doesn't make or break me. If I had to give it up tomorrow, like I'm constantly praying about that. Okay, God, if this is not what you want me to do anymore, like let me know, make it clear. So my self-worth wasn't defined by being number one, just like it wasn't defined by being not number one. Like I feel like I was the same person when I was getting 8th place in every race as the same person when I was like, oh, wait, you're giving me my own hotel room by myself because I'm the number one hurdler in the world. Like, this is crazy. Like, I was the same, determined, focused, like, let's do work. And even when I started, because this was how much they thought I was not going to be an Olympian, is I could not even get a contract out of college. So like all the people I competed against in college were signing Nike deals, Adidas, like they were going pro and no one would pick me up. And so instead, I worked at a gym. I worked at Home Depot. I drove a little scooter. I kept my AC like pretty much off in Louisiana, which is insane. Like, 90, 100 degrees, no AC, trying to save money, just hustling. And, so then when I finally got my big shoe deal, I'm the same person. I'm like, mentality is like, you grew up poor, like just don't even think about the money. So like, I just put the money away, like invest it, save it. And I just stayed on the grind, just keep the same mentality. I didn't want to ever become comfortable because I felt like I used that in my running and my competitions.
I think a lot of people could have your same story growing up and, turn it into more of the victim mindset and really use that story to work against them. And for you, it's like your childhood and everything you went through got you to where you are today. And I just want to bring back the importance of what you mentioned is your faith, because what you were saying was your identity wasn't this track star. And for me, that hit home because my identity was baseball. And when baseball was stripped from me from injury, that's what led me down the path of addiction. I have had 7 surgeries on my left knee and had a big traumatic surgery. And for a while I did blame it on that and the doctor and being overprescribed pills. But when I got to the root of it, which was in rehab, when I just was finally willing to get help, the root of my addiction was the loss of the purpose, because I didn't know who I was. There was nothing bigger than baseball for me. And I got all my validation through that. So as that was stripped from me, it literally almost killed me.
Yeah. I definitely see that. I mean, I don't want to sit up here and act like I haven't struggled with mental health and problems, because I have. There were seasons where I had suicidal thoughts and stuff when, I was getting criticized in front of millions because, I went to my first Olympics and, like I said, I was #1 hurdler in the world. And everybody's like, who is this girl? She came out of nowhere. She's so talented. And I went to my first Olympic Games in Beijing and I was just locked, focused as ever, running. Like, I remember the semifinal race, I actually slowed down and I still set a PB because I wanted to save it for the finals. And in the finals, I was winning the race by a tremendous lead. I was on pace to break the Olympic record and I hit the 9th hurdle. And literally, gold medal was just ripped from my hand. And not only that, when I crossed the line, I saw that I hit that hurdle so bad, I didn't even get top 3. And I just remember just crumbling to the track and just, pounding the track. And obviously I'm Christian, but I was cussing. I was like, like I was pissed, and I just started crying. I just felt like that my insides had got ripped out. And I just remember God whispered to me, he was just like, yeah, but you're here on the Olympic track. And 4 years ago, you were sitting at home crying because you didn't make the Olympic team. And so from that point on, I just realized that my failures, I need to use them to motivate, and that's essentially what I did. Like, growing up poverty, I used poverty to just use it for, competing. And then when I, wasn't the best collegiate athlete, I used that to get a contract. When I didn't get a contract, it's like I still fought. And then to make my first Olympic team and then lose the Olympic medal in front of millions, I used that to make another Olympic team because that time I had spine surgery before. So everybody's like, there's no way she's bouncing back from this. Her career is over. And then just to keep going, I got 4th at that Olympics and I was super frustrated. And I was just like, man, like, I feel like I'm punching the wall here. Like, I'm so close to the Olympic medal and I keep coming up short. People are teasing me. They're like, Lolo can't win at anything. Like, the fact that I hit a hurdle and I never hit a hurdle and I become known as the girl that always hits hurdles, that was heavy on me to always I'd be like, let's say I was on Twitter or X now, and I'd make a joke about a basketball game. And people were like, shut up, girl. You can't even get over a hurdle. And they'd pull up the picture of me hitting a hurdle at the Olympics and use it to tease me. And all that could have broke me down. And instead, I took that and I literally dumped it into a whole new sport and became one of the few people to make a summer and winter Olympics. So one of my favorite things I've always told people is failures are your biggest motivators in life if you use them. If they do not break you, they can be your biggest way out of the situation as fuel for the fire. Like, it fills your gas tank with just motivation to just go. So if anybody can get anything out of this talk today, is that's what I would tell them. Like, when a setback happens, when a failure happens, don't let it break you. Instead, use that. So just fuel your fire to whatever goal you're trying to achieve.
Oh yeah, that's fire right there. Because my favorite quote is Winston Churchill: "Success is moving from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm." Because there's plenty of parts in your story where you could have just folded up or been like, man, this is tough. Like, from 8 to 38. And it's like, no, like, over time, like, through these failures, through these circumstances, you've built the character to be able to not only push through those circumstances, but to be able to see them through a new lens, see them with a new perspective, and actually see them as valuable to help you go to a new level, help you continue to write your story. And people need to hear that shit, because as human beings, we we don't want discomfort. We don't want to be down on the track, pounding the ground. That's not how we write our story. We want that straight path, but without those moments, you're not here today continuing to share your story and also doing that free from people's opinions, from past performances. Like, you are who you are and you have your identity in something greater, and you epitomize everything that this show is about. So we appreciate you coming on here and spending some time with us.
Well, thank you. And I just want to say, like, what really taught me to be the amazing runner I am, but also just how to just take leaps and strides in life. So as a runner, or you feel this too as an athlete, you guys are both athletes, there's always that part of the workout where it's extremely tough. Like, you're having a hard workout, your lungs are burning, they're about to explode through your chest, your legs are heavy, you can feel the lactic acid just stinging you like bees. Well, I've taught myself, when I have those moments in a hard workout, to push through that, relax through that, enjoy, embrace the pain, and make it to the finish line. I don't break, I don't quit, I don't give up. And what I found is it hurts just as hard to give up as it is to push through. So, like, let's say my coach has me on repeat 600 or repeat 300s or 200s. If I'm like, you know what, coach, I can't do this, and I back off, I'm still going to be in pain for about 5 minutes. If I push through, relax, breathe, focus on my breathing, it's the same amount of pain. It's just a controlled pain. And now I get that high of actually finishing my goal. And so what I try to tell people in life is, when you hit that moment in life where you feel like, oh, everything is coming at you, it's too hard, you can't push through. If you give up, it's not going to take away the pain immediately. It's just a different type of pain. So just fight through, get to the finish line. And I promise you, that high you get from not being stopped dead in your tracks is just worth it. And that's when you really start living. That's when you really start running. Like, when you're running a race and you get through it, or if you're competing or being in athlete mode and you're just, I'm getting through this, you start to live, and it's awesome. And I look forward to those hard moments in the practice where I know it's going to try to break me. I'm like, you're not going to break me. You're not going to break me. I love that. I love that moment in practice, and I love that moment in life, because that makes or breaks people.